that was a good introduction. Our fans got a good overview of your trip to Israel. You were there for 11 days. You were in Jerusalem, I take it, but you also
everywhere.
You were over the West Bank. You were in Palestine.
We went to Haifa,
Jaffa. What happened when you crossed the border? I want to know what happened when you crossed over into Palestine. What was that like?
Well, it's sort of like I can't think of an example right off the top of my head, but it's sort of like, I mean, if you're in California, any of you listeners are in California, it's kind of like being in Beverly Hills, and then all of a sudden you cross a line and you're in Skid Row. It's like that.
No, you're in Culver City. You're in Culver City.
Yeah, it's like going from or to Englewood or
so
whatever.
Were you strip searched? Were you?
No. There's this big giant wall. I mean, a big giant, like a wall that would make Trump cry. I mean, big concrete, mean wall.
Right.
You drive up. There's several checkpoints. These checkpoints are pretty brutal. Some people who commute, it takes like an hour and a half to cross like a kilometer. Sometimes 4 hours. Sometimes they can't get across to work because Israel decided so. Yeah. So we just went in our bus. We just drove right through.
Oh, you had a bus filled with people who were in your group, right?
Right. We just drove right through. It was just that easy.
Wow.
I have a suspicion.
They didn't ask you for visas or papers or identity or anything. Really?
No. I was surprised. However, they did ask for us to bring it. It has to do with a lot of the reason is we do cooperate with the government. So they knew ahead of time that we were coming, so they could see giant bus with this insignia on it. And because there's Bible tours going on and everywhere. The issue would be is if we were Palestinian citizens. That would be an issue if one of us was a Palestinian. Right. But if all of us were American citizens, they might have stopped us.
And you look very Jewish. So
I know. Even when I'm not wearing my yarmulke, I look Jewish. Yeah. It wasn't that bad at all.
So let me ask you this. I really want to know, who did you interact with on the Palestinian side? Who did you meet? Who did you talk with?
Well, as this was kind of known throughout the whole trip, is that by the nature of the situation, it just was harder to get more Palestinians because it's much less accessible. We didn't stay one night in the West Bank because it was just safer in Israel. So we'd always be at a hotel in Israel. But nevertheless, we did talk to a journalist. So these are some of the notable Arab people. A small business owner of a Christian brewing company in Palestine.
Oh yeah.
And also a member of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or basically the governing organization.
PLO, the actual PLO. You spoke to.
PA. All very nice, very polite, very cordial. And all of them said basically, those are the three big ones I can think of. A lot of people would brand themselves as middle of the road, trying to see both sides.
Right.
These were three explicitly pro-Palestinian, yes, all the way.
Was anybody carrying weapons at this particular point? Was anybody weaponized?
Of the speakers? No.
Yeah, I mean the people in the room, the border guards.
Oh yeah. Big, giant, scary black guns, the kind that they brought to the rally in Virginia. Okay. Big, scary black gun. We had, except for when we went over, we had a medic who carried a gun on him at all times.
Okay, good.
We also went
on the bus, you did have an armed person on the bus at all times.
Correct.
Okay. Good.
Yes. We also went to a refugee camp. That we didn't really talk to anybody per se. Mm-hmm. We just kind of walked around and experienced.
What was that like? How many thousands of people were in the refugee camp? Could you tell me?
Okay. So this is one thing I was expecting, like a tent city, like a city of tents.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was like a neighborhood inside of a city.
Huh.
It was very strange. You see, this is the thing about the Palestinian refugees, is that they have inherited their refugee status. So their grandfathers were refugees. Their grandfathers may have been from Jaffa. But their 12-year-old grandson, who is, his father was born in this refugee camp. He was born in this refugee camp. He is a refugee. You could ask the little street boy, where are you from? He'll say, oh, I'm from that city way over there.
Yeah.
That he's never been to in his life. Never been to it. Right. Maybe his father was there as a kid, but not him.
Yeah.
So
several generations of people have been born in these refugee camps, and they're really not camps. They're like housing projects.
Yeah, it's like a third world country, like third world city. You have weirdly built buildings. No regulations. Well, there are regulations. Don't build, but people build anyway because they gotta live.
So there were running water. There was sewer facilities. There were police. They have their own police, their own fire department.
No, they do not have police. They do not have a fire department. It's the Wild West.
Oh, okay.
They're on their own.
You're running around there with no armed guards. This is amazing to me. This is amazing.
Well, we did see bullet shells on the ground, but they're guns. See, This is the thing. By law, international law, Israel cannot go into these areas, but Israel does anyway because they have intelligence saying that there might be terrorists there, and there probably is occasionally. And so, even though it's illegal, they come, they raid all the time, and the Palestinians live in this constant fear. To be fair, the Israelis live in this constant fear that this poverty is breeding more and more hatred and aggression and more violence.
Yeah, exactly. True. Yeah.
And so, how Israel counters that is with more militarization.
So what is going to happen to these refugees? Are they ever going to be settled anywhere, or are they ever going to have their own?
That is the question. Right now, the UN is like taking out their trash and doing that kind of stuff. But right. Yeah, as of now, no. See, the thing is, the elites don't really want to do anything. Uh-huh. This is where it gets really interesting. See, the U.S. gives aid to the Palestinians.
Yeah.
But a lot of it gets diverted to the Palestinian Authority, or PA.
Right.
Now, this is where it gets very interesting. The Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, which is basically the broad, overarching, like all the different political parties.
They're the military arm, aren't they? The military wing of the PA?
No, PLO is like broad umbrella. PA is like the governing authority.
Because when Yasser Arafat formed the PLO way back in the late 70s, it was the military wing, like their counterpart in Ireland.
The Palestinian Liberation Army. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Yes, PLO, Palestinian Liberation Army. Yeah.
That's at the end, not an A.
Right.
Anyway, but you have to understand, the elites within the PA are not particularly, it's not to their motivation to solve the crisis, because once they solve the crisis, then the dollar dries up.
Right, they're out of a job. They're out of a job.
And also, their lives are at stake to not reform it, not because of the people, but because of Hamas. This is where it gets really dicey. So apparently, in 2005, there were democratic elections orchestrated by international third parties. We know it was fair, and the people voted for Hamas over the current political party, which is Fatah. Now, Hamas is an internationally recognized terrorist organization, but they were democratically elected in the Gaza Strip. And Fatah, because they no longer were in power, were grabbed by the Hamas and thrown off of the 14th story built after elections.
They were just murdered.
Yes, straight up murdered, lynched in the streets, everything. So some Fatah members ran away, escaped to the West Bank, where they are in hiding, and they are terrified of having elections. They are so scared that they've been effectively stopping elections from happening since then, because they know the same thing's going to happen in the West Bank. And Israel doesn't want Hamas to take over because, well, it screws them. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation for both of the reigning authorities.
Right.
If there are democratic elections. Right. And I mean, I was standing on the streets in the West Bank in Ramallah, there were flags of Hamas in the street.
Now, did you interact with any Hamas people? Did you get to meet any Hamas people?
It's a literal terrorist organization.
So you didn't get to.
No, but here's where it's interesting. We met a spokesperson for the Fatah party.
Yeah.
And, we asked him, one person asked him, are you afraid of Hamas and what they'll do to you? He goes,
Yeah.
no, we're not afraid. I go to Gaza all the time. I talk to him all the time. We have differences, but we work together. And all our jaws just hit the floor. What? We're all very confused.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
I'm confused.
but this is where it gets really good.
Yeah.
Almost, I would say hours later, we went to another person who was a journalist, a Muslim Arab journalist.
Yeah.
Who actually personally knew the last speaker. He interviewed lots of different people.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically said, like, if this particular gentleman goes back to the Gaza Strip, he will get lynched on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So in Arabic, he has viciously denounced Hamas, this Fatah spokesperson.
Mm-hmm.
But to the American audience,
mm-hmm.
he's giving us the rosy. Oh well, it's like one of us ordered a pizza with mushrooms that didn't like. It was just a minor disagreement. That's right. How they're branding it. Which I mean is so. Just adds another layer of complexity. There's a different message that some people will give to you in English, and some things they'll say in Arabic.
I see.
So according to this journalist, no one in the PA will go in front of their constituents and say in Arabic that we need to make compromises, we need to resolve, because they have done nothing but, say Israel's the enemy, we need to resist peacefully, but we need to resist. Mm-hmm. Now you're saying we need to compromise with these people, which is what they need to do if you want to move on and have peace, is to have compromise.
Right. But you didn't see any impetus to compromise by the leaders who were talking to each other? Did you?
Well. See, that's the thing is the PA official said, "Oh yes, compromise is good. But according to all the Israelis, at least all the Israeli side, they said that the Palestinians are never interested in a two-state solution. They've been offered a two-state solution multiple times, and it's been rejected. Mm. And we weren't. Had we more time with more Palestinians, we would have drilled down into the reasons. Mm. And they did provide reasons, but it was very difficult to find what's the talking point.
Okay. Hold that thought, because it's really 13 minutes now. We don't want to keep our viewers on. So we're going to take a break, and we want to go back the next episode of Alex in Israel and Alex in Palestine and Alex in the Holy Land and the Middle East. The next one we're going to drill down into the proposals of the two-state solution to the problem and what you learned about that problem, because a lot of us don't know about it. We're not up to date. So I want to thank you for going through this series that we're having with you. Glad to have you back. You're safe and sound. Nobody shot you. Nobody threw you off a roof. Yeah. All of that stuff. So thank you very much for doing this. And of course, our fans welcome you back with likes and shares and even some sponsorship. So we'll be back in our next episode to talk about the Arab-Israeli, and I think I got that right, two-state solution in the Palestine region. Talk to you later, Alex.
You bet.